Hi everybody, it's Monica. So I was playing tonight and I thought I would go ahead and share with you an idea I have. And you guys know as crafters, when you have an idea in your head, you can't wait to try it out. So I wanted to go ahead and just turn on the camera. I was, like I said, just playing a little bit. So I thought I would turn on the camera and just play a while. And if anybody is out there available to just hang around and chat for a bit, you're welcome to join me. So this is what I'm working on. It's kind of like a specimen, and I think I saw a video. I can't remember exactly where I saw it, but I really liked how they were able to create like a miniature specimen, I guess a little specimen tag. And then I remembered I had these, and these are those butterflies that we got from Tim Holtz a while ago. And as you can see through them. And I haven't really used them. I'm not sure why. I know when I bought them, I was really excited to get them. But then they kind of ended up in a drawer like a lot of our stuff does. So when I saw the video, it gave me the idea to create my own specimens, or specimen slides, I should say. And then I could use either my stamp set or my remnant rubs from the Fields Notes collection. So that's what I'm doing. So, hi Pam, how's it going? So that's what I'm doing here. So the way that I did this is I used one of our very expensive crafty tools. I used my my tape, for my packing tape. And that's what I used for the center. But I had to make sure that my circle wasn't too big, because this is, you know, this isn't that big, right? But the circle had to be big enough to be able to house my butterfly. So, you know, I couldn't necessarily use a big butterfly. I guess I could, it would just cut it off. But I really wanted my specimen to be in the circle. So I started playing with this and I thought, you know what, why don't I just turn on the camera and see if anybody's out there. I know that it's late. I'm on mountain time. So, buffering, yeah. Oh, I'm doing it here too. I'm not sure what's going on. Oh, there it goes. Okay, so I'm not sure, I lost my train of thought. So, you know, I wasn't sure exactly how big I could go with this. So I just went ahead and I dumped out all of my butterflies here, and I thought I would try to make some. So this was just a square, and then I rounded the corners here. But I thought these would be really cute for like junk journals or something like that. But I'm not really sure what you could use these for, but I just thought it was a cute idea. So that's what I'm doing. So I cut out a couple of more, and I used a die that had, you know, like a nice frame. And then I made sure that I had my circle because I wanted it to fit. So you can not only do this with, you know, a square, but you could do it with a really fancy die as well. So that's what I did here. So Pam Catano, welcome to my live. I'm happy to see you here. I don't think that I've actually had you on my channel before, so welcome. You want to go ahead and give a little shout out, let me know what state you're watching from. I know that it's late back east, it's mountain time here, so it's not too late for us, so I thought I would play a little bit. All right, so now that I have these cut out, what I ended up doing is I cut out a front and a back. And my paper wasn't that thick, so I could actually cut both of them out at the same time, because I wanted to make sure when I lined them up that my circle, you know, lined up exactly the same, because when I put it together, I want it to look like a slide. You're in Northern California. Okay, so you're an hour behind me, so it's not too late for you. I know sometimes I share time zones with California because here in Arizona, we don't change time. All right, so let me figure out what I'm doing here. Okay, so I'm gonna make two of these. So the first thing I wanna do is I want to, I think it's a 2-inch circle. I know it's not the smallest one, But what I would say is, if you're gonna do this, you wanna make sure that your tape, you know, will cover the circle, because you don't wanna have a line through your slide. So that's what I would say. If you have, you know, tape that's a little bit thicker, you could probably go a little bit bigger. But I wanna say this is a 2-inch circle. So I'm gonna go ahead and start out by just getting some tape here. And this tape just fits. And then you want to make sure you make it big enough also, because you don't want your finger here. You want to make sure you have a nice clear tape. And then this background here is paper, so I don't want to put it on my paper because that'll tear up. And that's why I have this here, because this is plastic and I can lift it right up. So I just want to make sure that I put it on the inside and not the outside. And I don't want it too big. Okay, so I'm just gonna line it up as close to the edge as possible. All right. And then you see how it sticks, and that's fine. I guess you could probably do it the other way, this way, but I wanted to make sure I got it. So now this is sticky. Now what we'll do is we want to put our butterfly. So this one, I used the black and white, but for this one, I want to go ahead and use a colorful butterfly. So I'm going to go ahead and use this orange one. And you want to make sure it's face down, so that way when you turn it over, let's see here. Yeah, that's right. Okay, so this is my top. So I want to have it this way, because this is going to go here. Is that right? Yeah. See, I'm already confusing myself. Okay, so that's my sticky part. It probably should have been on the other side. All right, we're gonna make it work. So this is going to go right in the middle. Sorry, I had to concentrate there. Okay, so now I have my butterfly here, and I'm gonna cover this. But see, I made the mistake. I should have, now I have sticky on the back side, so I'm gonna have to put another layer, but that's okay. So again, I'm just kind of working with an idea that I had. So I'm trying to figure it out. All right, so yep, so I'm gonna have to put another layer. Not a big deal. Okay, so I just have to think through this. This was the very first one I made, so I'm still trying to perfect it here. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and add my glue. Before I do that, I need to add my, like I said, this is playtime, you guys. I'm just trying to test this out and figure it out. And that's how we are when we're creating, right? You don't know what's gonna work until you try it. So that's what I'm doing. I'm just trying it out. Okay. And you wanna make sure that when you're putting this together, you don't have any pieces of lint or hair in between either. Okay, so that's the idea. Now what I need to do is I need to cover this up so I can have my specimen. Oh yeah, I guess I had tape on that side too. Okay, so it's fine. All right, so now I'm gonna go ahead and distress this up a bit. It's funny how when you're creating for the first time, or when you have an idea in your head, you're not really sure how the idea is going to translate into your actual project. So you have a lot of, will that work? will this work? Is this what I need to do? At least for me, that's how it is. A lot of questioning, a lot of testing, and a lot of playtime. And I think before we actually can create, right, we have to play a little bit. We have to experiment, because we don't really know how something's going to necessarily go together, especially if you're doing it for the first time. You know, we can easily watch videos, watch people doing it once they've perfected it. But if we're doing it for the first time, a lot of times it's trial and error. All right, so that seems to work. So as it is right now, as you can see, I have my see-through piece, and then I have my paper. So now I have two different sizes here. Okay, so that the area, oops, yeah, so I had to, when I put my layer, then I stuck my butterfly, and then I put the tape on the other side. So I had to figure it out. And I was thinking I was gonna cover this, but of course, you know, you can, but you'd have to have a third layer. So on this particular one, even my back side has the tape. But you know, I can always add another piece of cardstock cut out to cover up this tape. So that would be 3 layers. But right now we're just playing. The area in the window isn't sticky. No, I double taped it. So let me show you again what I did here, Pam. So I have my circle, and then I have my packing tape. So Pam's saying, next time put another smaller piece of tape on the tape before you put it on the frame. Sticky side to sticky side. Yeah, that's what I did. So this isn't sticky. That's exactly what I did, Pam. So, because I didn't want it sticky. I didn't want to pick up, you know, lint and dust and all that stuff. So yeah, I have 2 pieces of tape. So now we're gonna go ahead and do this again. And I want to make sure. Okay, so that's my front. I don't want the tape on the front. Okay. See, the tape just fits the circle. So I'm trying to make sure. And see, even here, I didn't quite get it at the edge. So this, I like the size of the circle, but it barely fits. And if I go any smaller, then I have to use smaller butterflies. And I really like this size. I might be able to get away with a smaller circle. I'm not sure. But right now I'm just kind of playing. No, the window area is not sticky. So I double taped it. So let me find another butterfly here. Okay, so here's another butterfly. And then I'm gonna, so this is the sticky part right here. See, this is sticky. So I'm putting it, this is gonna be the front that's not sticky. So I'm gonna put it face down. All right. And now I'm going to cover this with another piece of tape. Okay. So now, Pam, see, this isn't sticky, but I'm going to have tape showing on the back side, which is fine. And then I'll add another piece of cardstock on the top, so that way, you know, that way you don't see the tape. So you are sandwiching your butterfly in between 2 pieces of tape, one on the top and then one on the bottom. Okay, and then I'm just going to go ahead and distress it up. So yeah, so this was my idea. I know I wanted to use either my stamps from my field notes set or my remnant rubs, but I had to figure out how to make my specimen slides. And ordinarily, you know, specimen slides are square and they're rounded on the sides. But like I said, you can make them any shape. It doesn't have to be square. Okay, so that's stuck. Let me go ahead and add my glue. It's kind of a cute idea, I think. I think it would look really cute, like in maybe a journal, or I don't know, maybe a card even. You know, sometimes we create things not really knowing what we're gonna do with them yet, but they're just fun to make. All right, so now again, it's not sticky. I have my butterfly sandwich in between the film, which is my packing tape. Yes, PJB stamper is Pam. All right, so there we go. So now we have our specimens, and now all you gotta do is decorate them up. But it was a cute idea, I thought. You know, like I said, I wasn't really sure how I was gonna do it. I might, now that I've kind of figured this out, I might try a smaller circle. In fact, hold on a second. Yeah, I know PJB Stamper. I know Pam, so that's who I've been talking to. So I have this circle too, which is a little bit smaller. But then you're going to be more limited on the butterflies you can use, right? I mean, you certainly can't use the big ones. And I don't even know, other than Tim Holtz, who makes these transparent butterflies. I mean, I guess you can use this size, right? But you're going to end up cutting off some of your wings. And I really didn't want to do that. And I don't think I have, let me see what size this one is. So, I mean, even that one is a little bit too big. So, you know, this one is the perfect size, but you have to mat it perfectly unless you have wider packing tape. All right, so now that I have that figured out, I'm gonna go ahead and start decorating. So I'm just using some antique linen. And you know, you're gonna want to make sure when you glue it, try to match it up evenly. Yeah, I guess it doesn't have to be perfect, right? But it's nice to have it lined up. And I'm just using ink that's left over on my dauber, so it's not real dark. And then just using a sander, try to even it out. Or I can trim it. So I didn't do a great job of lining it up perfectly. And it doesn't have to be perfect. But let's see if we can make it better. And I don't plan on making a card or making anything with these tonight. Like I said, I just wanted to test my theory. Yeah, you could definitely use a laminator. I thought about that too. In fact, I think the video that I saw, they were using a laminator, but I don't have a laminator. So I thought, what could I use if I don't have a laminator? And that's when I came up with the packing tape. So absolutely, yeah. I think, you know, this project or this idea would work best with a laminator, because then you don't have to worry about your circle size. But if you don't have one, sometimes you just have to make do. And I don't know if I would use a laminator necessarily on a lot of my projects. I mean, I might. I don't know if it's necessarily worth the investment. But, you know, if you thought you could get more use out of a laminator than just one project, you know, then absolutely that's the way to go. But like I said, I don't have a laminator, and that's when I kind of came up with the idea of the packing tape, because I knew I had packing tape. Yeah, putting the butterfly between the tape before you actually put it on. Yeah, but then the tape would be stuck. Then I guess you could glue it. Yeah, I mean, you'd have your tape loose, and then you'd have to glue the tape down and then glue the cover down. So yeah, that's possible. All right. So I got that one all colored up. I'm in Prescott, Arizona. So I am south of Flagstaff and northwest of Phoenix. So we have seasons here. It does get colder here. We're probably about 20 degrees colder than Phoenix. So we do get weather here. Sun City West, that's not too far from us. I mean, it's a couple hours, but obviously it's closer to Phoenix than it is where I'm at. But if you do end up coming up north to Prescott, maybe we can get coffee. Have you ever been to Arizona before, or? I laminate my insurance card. Yeah, Pam, if you have a laminator, I think this process would work a lot better than packing tape. All right, so now that I have my slides, now I'm gonna go ahead and decorate them. So the remnant rubs that I'm working with, I have several of the different ones. But the ones that I thought would be good were the ones from Field Notes. So those are the ones that I'm working with. So I'm just going to cut off some of my words here. And I don't even know how much laminators cost. I mean, are they reasonable? And you know, what else could you use them for crafting? I mean, I'm sure there'll be lots of ideas, right? All right, so that's probably not gonna work. That's too big. All right. So these are remnant rubs if you've never used them before. And then I have a stylist. So Pam, you bought a cheap one at Walmart. You're surprised how many times you can use it. Yeah, you know, I think if I had it, I probably would use it. I just can't think off the top of my head what I would use it for in crafting. But there probably are a lot of videos or ideas out there. Just one more tool in my studio, right? Okay, so, but I mean, like anything, if you're gonna get use out of it, then definitely make the investment. So all right. Your father-in-law lives in Sun City. Yeah. Yeah, it's a nice time of year to come to Arizona, that's for sure. Okay. So I'm just kind of going through my remnant rubs here and finding little numbers or symbols to put. So I know, like I said, it's late for a lot of people, and I have to do a better job of planning out my lives. But like I said, I was just playing here, and I thought, you know what, I'm just going to turn on the camera because some people might be interested in this. I think it's a fun idea. I still have to get out my Christmas cards. I bought my Christmas stamps, but I have to sit down and write out my cards still. So that's what I should be doing rather than playing in my craft room. But I'll get them out this weekend. All right. And so the footnote stamps have a lot of the same like words and numbers that the remnant rubs do, but the stamps are a little bit bigger. So that's why I like using the remnant rubs because they are smaller. Now the thing about this shape, right, I don't have as much surface on the top and the bottom. I do have room on the sides, so you might be limited as far as how you can place some of your remnant rubs. Yeah, dried flowers would be great in here too, Pam. I think that's a good idea. With dried flowers, you just want to make sure that they're not too dry or not too brittle, right? Because then they're going to break apart. But I think that would be a fun idea as well. And who's to say you don't necessarily have to use, you know, these clear butterflies. I guess you can use just regular ephemera or dyes. But like I said, I had the idea with these butterflies. So that's what I'm experimenting with. All right. And let's see. So Pam, you do have a laminator? So you should be able to do this technique easily. Instead of saying Pam, I should say PJB. And then Pam is the other Pam. Let's see. So my figures. Maybe I'll just do figure 1. And then the other one will be figure 2. The otter snow stamps, yeah, I saw those. I think I ended up getting the Santa Claus ones though, it's interesting, you know. I remember, gosh, not years ago, many people used to send Christmas cards, but more and more people don't send Christmas cards anymore, and I know why, right? I mean, just the cost of mailing things has just skyrocketed. So I'm sure a lot of people just can't justify spending the money on Christmas cards. And especially makers like us, you know, our cards aren't necessarily light sometimes. So I even bought the extra 1-ounce stamps for my heavier cards. But you know, my family knows I'm a card maker, so sometimes I almost feel obligated to send a fancier card to them because they've seen my fancy cards. Yeah, if you have the laminator and you have these butterflies, you could totally do this technique, I think. And you won't be limited with the circle size. You could go bigger if you wanted to, I guess, right? Let's see. And I like to have my tools around me, so I'm just thinking unless I was truly going to use my laminator, it would just be another piece of equipment, you know, sitting in my studio. So my studio, if you saw my studio tour, almost every square foot of the studio was filled. So I have to be choosy about my real estate. So the outside shape, Noche, welcome to the live feed, is this one here. And I don't know what this is called. It's one of the nesting dies. So it comes in different shapes. But you just want to find one that will, where's my other circle? That will house your circle. So this particular one housed this circle perfectly, but it can't be too small that you can't, you know, frame your figure. This particular one, when I was playing, is just a square, and I rounded the corners, and then I had the idea to use this shape here. All right, so let's see, what else can I use? I guess I could put some numbers, right? That might be kind of fun. Let's see what I could do here. Maybe I'll just put this here, and then I'll call it a day. All right, so I think these are coming out pretty good. On my next set, when I'm playing some more, now that I kind of have the idea and I know what will work, I might. All right, so looks like I'm back. I'm not sure what's up with the internet tonight.